Cowboys Nation, what's going on? It's Alex back again with another huge update, and before I get into this exciting story about Trayvon Diggs, I need to stop right here and say this because I know most of you watch my videos every single day and you love keeping up with all the breaking Dallas Cowboys news, but for some reason so many of you still haven't subscribed, so do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the bell so you never miss any Cowboys update, because trust me, we've got a lot to cover and you don't want to miss a single thing happening with this team. Now let's get into today's breaking story, because this one is going to make Cowboys fans everywhere breathe a little easier. So earlier this week, Trevon Diggs, one of the most important players on this Cowboys defense, missed some practice time, and immediately that set off alarms all over Cowboys Nation, because when you hear the words Trevon Diggs and injury in the same sentence, it brings back some very painful memories. We all know how much he means to this defense, his ability to shut down top wide receivers, his knack for creating turnovers, and just the energy he brings to the secondary are all things you cannot replace easily. So when the news came out that Diggs wasn't practicing early this week, a lot of fans started to panic. People were wondering, is this another serious setback? Is this something that could linger for weeks, or worse, is he going to be sidelined again for a long stretch of the season? But here's the good news, and this is why I said fans can breathe a little easier. Reports are now coming out that Trayvon Diggs has received a very positive update regarding his status after missing that early week practice. The team is making it clear that this is not a long-term concern and that he's expected to be back on the field soon. This is a huge relief for everyone, because when a star player like Diggs is suddenly not practicing, the speculation gets out of control. You see people on social media throwing around all kinds of theories, but thankfully this situation is not nearly as bad as some people feared. Now let's pause for a second and think about how big this is for the Cowboys defense, because if you look at what this team is trying to do this season, it's all built around having a strong defense. Micah Parsons is the centerpiece of the pass rush. DeMarcus Lawrence is still causing havoc up front, and when you have Trayvon Diggs locking down receivers on the outside, it gives Quinn so much flexibility in how he calls this defense. Losing Diggs for any period of time would completely change how the Cowboys play, so to get a positive update this quickly is something that should get fans fired up. I know some of you may be wondering what exactly happened and why he missed practice earlier in the week. From what's being reported, it sounds like this was more of a precautionary move. The Cowboys coaching staff and medical team know how important Diggs is to the long-term success of this team, so they are not going to risk pushing him too hard too early. If something feels off or if he needs a little extra rest, they're going to give him that time, and honestly, that's a smart move. This isn't about winning a random practice in September. This is about making sure your star corner is healthy and ready to go when the games really start to matter. And I want you guys to think about this for a second, because we've seen this team deal with injuries before and we know how devastating they can be. Last year, losing Trayvon Diggs early in the season completely changed the outlook for this defense. The Cowboys still played well defensively, but without Diggs in the secondary, it forced other players to step into roles they weren't totally ready for, and it made life tougher on everyone. So when you compare that to the situation now, where Diggs is dealing with something much smaller and getting a positive update, it just shows how far the Cowboys have come in terms of managing injuries and protecting their key players. Another thing I want to point out is how this impacts the locker room, because when your star players are healthy and locked in, it lifts the entire team morale. The defense knows that when Diggs is out there, he can erase one side of the field. That allows guys like Parsons to hunt for the quarterback even more aggressively. It allows safeties to take chances knowing Diggs has their back, and it puts pressure on opposing quarterbacks to look elsewhere, and usually when they do that, they're rushing throws and making mistakes that the Cowboys defense can capitalize on. So the ripple effect of Diggs being healthy is huge. It doesn't just impact him, it impacts everyone around him. Now I want to address something that I think every Cowboys fan should keep in mind. Yes, this is a positive update. Yes, it looks like Diggs is going to be fine, but at the same time, this team needs to continue to manage him carefully throughout the season, because injuries in the NFL can pop up out of nowhere. And for someone like Diggs, who plays such a physical, demanding position, you don't want to take any unnecessary risks. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Cowboys rest him here and there or limit his reps in certain Situations that doesn't mean he's not healthy, it just means the team is thinking long-term and making sure they have their star ready for the biggest games. Let's also not forget that the Cowboys' schedule only gets tougher from here, and if you look at some of the upcoming matchups, there are going to be plenty of elite wide receivers they'll need to face. Having Trayvon Diggs out there at full strength is absolutely critical if the Cowboys want to keep stacking wins and positioning themselves as a serious contender, and you better believe the rest of the league is paying attention to his health, because if Diggs is good to go, that completely changes how opponents prepare for this defense. So Cowboys Nation, hey Race, what I want to know from you, how relieved are you about this positive update on Trayvon Diggs? Were you nervous when you first heard he missed practice, and do you think the Cowboys should continue to be cautious with him moving forward, or just let him play full throttle right away? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, because I love hearing how you all feel about these updates, and I'll be responding to as many as I can. And listen, if you're new here, or even if you've been watching for a while but haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? This channel is all about keeping you locked in with every single Dallas Cowboys update, from injuries to trade rumors to breaking news about what's happening inside the locker room. So if you want to be part of this community and never miss out, hit that subscribe button right now and join the family, because we are just getting started. To wrap this all up, Trayvon Diggs missing early week practice might have sent a wave of concern across Cowboys Nation, but the positive update we've now received is the best news we could have hoped for. He's expected to be fine. This isn't a long-term concern, and he should be back on the field soon, ready to lock down receivers and make life miserable for opposing quarterbacks. This is a reminder that sometimes in the NFL things can look scary at first, but when you dig deeper, it's not always as bad as it seems. And for the Cowboys right now, this update keeps their defensive dreams alive. So that's going to do it for today, Cowboys Nation. But don't go anywhere, because Eve got another massive update dropping soon, and you don't want to miss it. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and turn on the bell so you get notified the second that video goes live. Until next time, it's Alex signing off. Keep ripping the star, and I'll catch you in the next one.